You know what's a sucker to me? A sucker is a nigga who pick who he fight with.
Right.
Like if you sit and you go, oh, I'm not going because this.
I won't fuck with him, but I'll fuck with this one.
Yeah, I think I can take him.
Right.
I believe people play with people intelligence the way they play with people intelligence and intellect. You know, the way they do today. You know, people are telling lies for a living. You know what I mean?
Maybe we need to change the word for the youngsters. The checking in part, you know, is
what's the word, OG? What's the word?
Maybe we may want to tell them they need to get connected.
Last.
He's my guy.
What happened to the guy?
I'm gonna give you an example. He did a lot for a lot of people, just like 50, right?
Welcome back to Mick Whispers. Things are getting wild in the hip-hop world because Tony Yayo just made headlines after reportedly stepping to the one and only J Prince. And this wasn't some online back and forth. Insiders claim this went down face-to-face at a private industry event, where Yayo made it crystal clear that neither he nor 50 Cent would ever bow down to what he called street politics dressed up as Southern hospitality. People close to the situation say Yayo looked J Prince dead in the eye and said, "We don't check in, we check out problems. Respect is earned, not demanded." That line alone had the entire room frozen. For years, rumors have swirled that J Prince uses his name and power to control
calls that he was in the airport. Right? Okay. I mean, imagine that shit, right? I like that. I would know shit when you land. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's that deep, right? Yeah. A long story short, right? Long story short, he pursued his situation, right? And he was in the Ritz-Carlton, from what I hear. And it didn't go well for him because he didn't do shit protocol-wise. Wow. Yeah, that's all I want to say about this shit. Okay.
I don't even know what happened just now. I don't know if it was a clap or I don't know. But yeah, cool.
So when we done, we met indirectly without meeting.
Oh. Okay.
And then we met.
Okay. Right.
If you feel me.
Kinda. Yeah. I don't know what we talking about. but it's I get it.
Sometimes you have to leave it like that.
Okay. Leave it.
which artists can safely move through Houston. But sometimes you have to leave it like that. Okay. But this time, G-Unit wasn't having it. See, 50 Cent's always had that untouchable energy. A man who refuses to play by anyone's rules but his own. And with Yayo stepping in publicly, it feels like G-Unit just drew a permanent line in the sand. The streets are talking, and fans online.
You know what's a sucker to me? A sucker is a nigga who pick who he fight with.
Right.
Like if you sit and you go, oh, I'm not going because this.
I won't fuck with him, but I'll fuck with this one.
Yeah, I think I can take him.
Right.
You want to fight the nigga you think you can beat.
And I called J Prince in them out. I'm saying,
Yes,
fuck
you
you.
do.
He didn't say nothing to whack. So when you come talking to me, I feel like you're very selective. This is exactly what I meant last week when I was talking about street niggas being selective. They got selections of who they think they're gonna get tough with. So I feel there's a must for me to say something, because you can't be selective with us, because we're not the weakest on the chart to deal that with.
Like I never ran from anything because I never had nobody to go to. I've always had that where I'm going. Home to get me. Ain't nobody there.
Right.
Are calling this a defining moment, a power shift, even. Some say Yayo just exposed a side of the industry most rappers are too scared to speak on. 3. Now, while J Prince has yet to publicly clap back, the silence is loud. Everyone's wondering if this confrontation might spark something even bigger, because what Yayo hinted at could be massive. Whispers of one of the biggest extortion-style check-in systems in hip-hop history. Allegedly, J Prince tried to pull that same move on 50 Cent. But instead of folding, 50 flipped it and dared him to make a move directly. What started as subtle tension has now turned into an open standoff. Houston's quiet power versus G-Unit's no-nonsense street code. And to really grasp how serious this feud is, you have to look at the roots. J Prince, the legendary founder of Rap-A-Lot Records, built his empire on loyalty, fear, and respect. He's the kind of man whose name alone stops conversations. In Houston, he doesn't need to shout to be heard. His presence...
maybe we need to change the word for the youngsters. The checking in part, is they seem to get hung up on that word checking in.
Yeah.
So if we could diversify that word and bring it up to a 2021 thing.
Right. What's the word, OG? What's the word?
Maybe we may want to tell them they need to get connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the proper word, connected, properly connected. Or whatnot.
Yeah, they get tripped up on the semantics.
They get stuck. I mean, right there you stuck. So then you stuck on stupid, right? You're stuck on stupid, and you're not using your powers or access to powers that you have. You're looking at it as a negative.
Speaks louder than words. Artists know the unspoken rule. If you step into the city, you check in, or risk learning the hard way what happens if you don't. Versus chains have gone missing, entourages have been pressed, and reputations destroyed overnight. That's the code that's been running for years, until 50 Cent came along and completely shattered it. When 50 stormed into the early 2000s, he didn't just rap about the streets. He took over the entire industry like a man on a mission. From his explosive war with Ja Rule and Murder Incorporated to calling out major industry gatekeepers, 50 made it clear he wasn't about to play anyone's political games. G-Unit wasn't built on fear or approval. It was built on power, money, and loyalty. Their message was simple. We don't check in. We check nobody. So when whispers started flying that 50 might be relocating to Houston, the industry stopped in its tracks. Everyone knew exactly what that meant. If 50 came to hometown and refused to bow to the so-called protocol, it would be more than disrespect. It would be a straight-up power shift. People started watching every move like it was a heavyweight match about to unfold. And in true 50 Cent fashion, he didn't roll in quietly. He made noise when he tweeted, "I love New York, but I live in Houston now. I'll explain later." Fans went crazy. It wasn't just a lifestyle flex. It was a statement of dominance. Behind the flash, 50's move was all about strategy. New York's heavy taxes were eating into his empire's profits. Houston offered something different: lower taxes, fresh markets, and a booming southern entertainment scene. For a businessman like 50, that was a gold mine waiting to be tapped. He wasn't just thinking music, he was thinking legacy. 5. Add in film production, real estate, and local entertainment investments.
Already here, like even the tax incentive was pushed back. Well, and so a lot of people have been talking about, man, he's here only because they gave him a cheap deal or something like that. The reality is there's more to that deal. Yes. Way more.
They can't see
Break that down.
I'm spending $20 million this year anyway, in the same building that they're saying was the cheap building.
Right.
So find somebody else to spend $20 million.
And it's clear, 50 didn't just move for comfort. He moved to build a new empire from the ground up. This wasn't a relocation. It was a takeover in motion. But there was one major roadblock. 50 Cent didn't check in. And that's where everything blew up. For Jay Prince, that wasn't just business. That was personal. In Houston, the word respect carries weight. And Jay Prince's entire legacy has been built on enforcing that unwritten code. So when 50 moved into a city without making that courtesy call, the streets say Jay took it like a straight-up slap in the face. It was seen as him trying to walk in like a king, without bowing to the throne already seated. Insiders claimed that after word spread of 50's relocation, quiet pressure started building behind the scenes. Some say Jay Prince's camp reached out with what's being called a protection fee, basically a street-level tax to move around safely and do business in Houston. But 50 wasn't having any of it. He allegedly told his G-Unit team straight up, "We roll with our own security. We don't pay to play." That one statement alone sent shockwaves through Houston's inner circle. After that, things went nuclear. Rumors began swirling that Jay Prince hit back with what people called a no-fly zone, a powerful message meant to block 50 from moving freely through the city. This kind of warning has supposedly worked on other rappers before, especially newcomers trying to break into the scene. But 50, he's built different. Instead of backing off, he doubled down and went full-blown troll mode on social media. He lit up Instagram with memes, coded captions, and slick jabs that everyone knew were aimed at Jay Prince. He turned what could have been a quiet standoff into a viral circus. But behind the laughter and trolling, the stakes were very real. Continued in next message. 6. 50 wasn't just in Houston to flex. He was making serious business moves. He had already started developing a $20 million G-Unit film and TV studio, his biggest power play yet, right in the heart of Houston. That studio was supposed to change the game, offering jobs, internships, and turning Houston into a southern hot spot for film and entertainment. It was a major win for the culture. But when the feud started heating up, everything came crashing down. Practically overnight, the entire project was moved out of Houston, quietly shifted to Shreveport, Louisiana. Officially, 50 claimed the move was due to better infrastructure in Shreveport. But let's be real, insiders weren't buying it. The whispers said otherwise. People in the industry believe Houston's underground politics had gotten too messy, and 50 wasn't about to risk his empire just to prove a point. What was supposed to be a clean business relocation had turned into a dangerous power struggle, one that revealed the cracks in hip-hop's underground hierarchy. 50 didn't just challenge Jay Prince's influence. He forced the entire industry to show where their loyalty really stood. As the pressure boiled, it became obvious. 50 wasn't just relocating a studio. He was sidestepping a trap and rewriting the playbook in real time. And then came the twist. While Jay Prince allegedly saw 50's footprint as a challenge to the throne, the city itself read the move completely differently, and rolled out the welcome mat with both hands. Houston didn't simply accept 50. They crowned him. In November 2022, barely a year after touching down, 50 Cent was celebrated like a native son. Mayor Sylvester Turner handed him the key to the city and stamped November 24th as 50 Cent Day during the Thanksgiving parade, praising him as a sharp businessman, a hands-on community leader, and a real-deal philanthropist in front of thousands. 7.
Now to the Grand Marshal for 2022. Curtis 50 Jackson. Now, this is somebody who is a philanthropist, rapper, artist, business person, you name it. Used to live in another city up north, but found his way down south. This is one person who is now a Houstonian. I want to thank him. Look, he came to the city of Houston, but he didn't just come here to live. He has been helping out on so many causes in this city. And especially, he has been in our high schools, turning our high school students into entrepreneurs with his Unity Camp program. I've seen him firsthand. This city has been elevated because of his presence. And so today we have the honor of saying to him, he's our 2022 Grand Marshal. Give it up to Curtis 50 Jackson. Woo! Now, before I call on him to speak, let me present you first.
The visuals were movie level. 50 riding a parade float like he'd grown up off South Main, saluting families and veterans, flashing that grin, and turning the route into a block party. And this wasn't just pageantry. Through the G-Unity Foundation, he pushed real dollars and real mentorship into real neighborhoods, building programs that didn't just pose for photos. They enrolled students, paid for laptops, uniforms, and tutors. He launched toy drives, funded scholarships, and partnered with the Rockets, Texans, and Astros through Sire Spirits to host youth clinics and career days that brought kids onto the actual courts and fields, not just the sidelines. In 2023 alone, he dropped $850,000 worth of toys. Then in 2024, he helped raise another $500,000 for the Houston Children's Charity by auctioning exclusive Luca Juris champagne bottles, a gala that reportedly cleared $6 million by the end of the night. While 50 stacked goodwill and kept the receipts public,
a key to the city of Houston. Anywhere you go, 550 buildings, use the key, the door will swing wide open. Just don't do it anytime soon. But a key to the city of Houston, and then let me present to you this proclamation. If I can get a couple of my council members to just step forward, Vice Mayor Pro Tem, why don't you come on up? If you all will hold it, and you gotta hold it because I can't read it unless I... Okay, now I can see it. I'm not gonna read everything because I've already said a whole lot. You know, y'all know 50, right? No, look, I'm just glad he agreed to be the Grand Marshal. He could be all over the globe, but he's taking his time to be here. This city is very appreciated. We love you, man. Appreciate you. And so I have the privilege of saying the city of Houston congratulates Jackson on his successful career, his countless humanitarian projects, and for helping to make the annual parade a success.
Sources say Jay Prince watched from the sidelines as the city's spotlight shifted. The man long treated as Houston's Shadow King suddenly had a rival for the people's ear, a figure moving with full transparency, corporate backing, and community proof you could point to on a map. That kind of civic love hits different when it's tied to internships, equipment grants, and paid apprenticeships that put checks in pockets. Then Tony Yayo, never one to sugarcoat, sat on Vlad TV and called it straight. He said the reason G-Unit never...
I just want to say it's an honor to be here today. I'm really excited about being in Houston. Since I've made my way out here, the Houstonians have embraced me with open arms, and it just feels like a great place for me to expand G-Unity as a foundation and continue to work with programs like HISD and Mid-Eternal on all the different efforts that I can get involved in. You know, and it's exciting for me, like, to make the next level. And I think the people in Legacy are always people who help people. So it's exciting for me to make it to the next stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Give it up again. Thank
you. Checked in was simple. They never needed that stamp, and they refused to dress extortion up in a suit and call it respect. He framed check-in culture as a hustle with a smile, arguing that real respect is mutual, not invoiced. He said any city that truly values artists should protect them without a fee attached. And that set the tone for the next chapter, because Yayo didn't just talk. He tore the concept down piece by piece, showing how the old rules crumble when a star brings his own security, his own sponsors, and a community ledger that says, "We're here to build, not beg." Tony Yayo didn't mince words. He said the reason G-Unit always moved like a military unit wasn't ego. It was survival in a world built on smoke and mirror.